career is marked by his perseverance and determination in the face of significant challenges. Redshirted during his freshman year, he struggled to find any playing time behind future NFL quarterback Brian Griese. Griese led the Wolverines to an undefeated season in 1997 and a share of the national championship that year. Brady, on the other hand, would throw only 15 passes during the season. While frustrated, he contemplated a transfer, but he showed his persistence and stayed at Michigan. Despite being buried on the depth chart for his first 3 seasons, Brady's hard work and dedication began to pay off in his junior year in 1998 when he finally earned the starting quarterback position. That season, he started every game and led the Wolverines to a 10-3 record and a Citrus Bowl victory, passing for 2,427 yards and 14 touchdowns. With such a stellar season, it seemed like there was nothing from stopping him from continuing to improve his senior year, but something was going to jeopardize that. Before his senior season, a tight quarterback battle and tons of upside potential from sophomore Drew Henson led Michigan's head coach Lloyd Carr to make a difficult decision. Henson was an ultra-talented player who Brady even described as faster, stronger, and possessed a better arm than he did. To start the season, Carr decided that both Brady and Henson would each play a quarter before he decided the starter for the second half. Through the first 5 games, this worked as Michigan started the season a perfect 5-0, but the strategy soon collapsed in week 6 as Michigan fell behind by 17 points in the second half with Henson playing. Brady would enter the game and be tasked with leading a comeback, and he narrowly did. However, they would fall short by just 3 points. The following week, Brady would throw for over 300 yards and the quarterback battle was officially over. And one of his most memorable college moments came later that season when trailing by 10 points with just minutes left against Penn State. He led the Wolverines on a comeback and found the end zone twice, securing the victory 31-27. This earned him the honorary nickname the Comeback Kid, something he shared with his childhood idol Joe Montana. But unbeknownst to him, his ability to perform in clutch moments would eventually lead him to becoming the most hated player of all time. He finished his senior season with 2,217 passing yards and 16 touchdowns, and he capped it off with an Orange Bowl victory against Alabama, a game in which he threw for 369 yards and 4 touchdowns. Despite sharing time with Henson, Brady showcased his resilience in the face of adversity, which should have brought him more attention from NFL scouts. Though many looked at the situation with Drew Henson as a red flag due to the appearance that Lloyd Carr was trying to replace him as the quarterback. When it came to the NFL Combine, Brady didn't really impress either. His draft report included the following: poor build, skinny, lacks a strong arm, doesn't throw a tight spiral, gets knocked down too easily. Mel Kiper ranked him as the number 10 quarterback in the draft and projected him to go in the 5th round. But he wouldn't even be selected in the 5th round, and there were 6 other quarterbacks that were taken before him in the 2000 draft. Dubbed the Brady 6, these quarterbacks were Chad Pennington in the 1st round, Giovanni Carmazzi and Chris Redmond in the 3rd, T. Martin in the 5th, and both Mark Bolger and Spurgeon Wynn were taken in the 6th round. Finally, at pick number 199, Tom Brady was selected by the New England Patriots, and it was a miracle he even made the roster. At the time, Brady was kept on as the 4th quarterback on the depth chart, something he was familiar with from his time at Michigan. Before he was drafted, the New England Patriots were not the franchise many fans of the NFL experienced throughout the 2000s. They had played in 2 Super Bowls in 1985, a 46-10 blowout against the Chicago Bears, and 1996, a 35-21 loss to the Green Bay Packers. In 2000, they hired Bill Belichick, who had served as the team's assistant head coach to Bill Parcells during the 1996 season. Belichick said he kept Brady as the 4th quarterback on the roster because they believed he had potential to continue to improve despite knowing he may never play a snap in the 2000 season. The team finished with a 5-11 record, and Brady played in just a single game and completed just 1 of 3 passes. Not what you'd expect from a future 7-time Super Bowl winner. After the season, there were no signs that Brady would take over the starting role for the Patriots. New England's current starter was Drew Bledsoe, who had been selected in the 1st round of the 1993 NFL Draft. And in March of 2001, he signed the largest NFL contract to date, a 10-year deal worth $103 million. But Brady had worked his way up the depth chart into the backup position prior to the 2001 season, and he said he always felt this.
I always said in my mind, and this is just, you have your own inner thoughts, but I always felt like if I ever get a chance, they're never going to take me off the field.
A lot of people probably feel this, but not a lot of them end up like Brady. After a disappointing 23-17 loss in Week 1, the Patriots trailed in Week 2 against the New York Jets. Bledsoe was absolutely crushed by Mo Lewis and it knocked him out of the game. Brady would enter, and this was his first real playing time in the NFL. And although he wasn't able to find the end zone, the NFL was forever changed at that moment. The next week, he would make his first career start against the 1998 number 1 pick Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. The Patriots would defeat them in a blowout 44-13 for their first win on the season, while Brady completed 13 of 23 passes for 168 yards. As most people probably believe Brady was just filling in until Bledsoe returned, they did not realize that they had just witnessed the start of the greatest rivalry in NFL history. In week 5 is where the world would get a glimpse of what the future held for Tom Brady. He threw for 364 yards with his first 2 touchdown passes of his career. Brady led the Patriots back from a 10-point deficit in the 4th quarter against the San Diego Chargers in an overtime win, something that became the norm for him throughout his career. Over the next 4 games, Brady led the Patriots to a 4-1 record, throwing 9 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, once again defeating Peyton Manning in the process. Prior to week 10 of the 2001 regular season, Bledsoe was finally cleared from injury and all eyes were on coach Bill Belichick. But he would decide to start Tom Brady for the remainder of the season, stating he was making the best decision for the team. With Brady leading the way, the Patriots closed out the season with a 6-1 record and secured the 2nd seed in the AFC. Entering the playoffs, the team was viewed as aspiring underdogs led by an unlikely 6th-round quarterback. At Gillette Stadium, in what would be one of the most memorable games of Brady's career, New England hosted the Oakland Raiders. Late in the 4th quarter with the game on the line, Brady fumbled the ball and the Raiders recovered it, which ended this Cinderella story for the 2001 season. Or at least it should have, but in one of the most obscure rulings in NFL history, the call was overturned, citing the tuck rule. Because of this, New England retained possession. Brady set up a game-tying field goal from Adam Vinatieri, who did not let him down and sent the game to overtime, tied 13-13. In overtime, the Patriots drove 63 yards down the field for Vinatieri to hit the game-winning field goal and send them to the AFC Championship. The infamous tuck rule game lives on in history for many fans around the NFL. It might be a source of resentment towards Brady. He himself said this on the matter years later.
Wait, what?
If the ball was tucked, look what would have happened.
All right.
I'd have held onto the ball.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that.
Doesn't take much pressure to knock it out at that point. Go ahead. Fumble. Or, in this case, tuck rule.
Fumble or not, they won the game and were headed to the AFC Championship to play against the Pittsburgh Steelers as 10-point underdogs. This game was a primarily defensive showdown between the two teams. Late in the 2nd quarter, while the Patriots were driving, Brady would be injured and left the game. The man who had replaced Brady and had embraced the role of a backup would enter the game. Bledsoe was able to get the Patriots in the end zone and hold off the Steelers, allowing a 24-17 upset for the Patriots to advance to Super Bowl 36. Brady was cleared to play in the Super Bowl, but there was a tall task stacked against him and the Patriots. Their opponent were the number 1 seed St. Louis Rams. Known as the greatest show on turf, the Rams had won the Super Bowl just 2 years prior and were 14-point favorites over the Patriots. A true David versus Goliath matchup for Brady and New England. New England would enter halftime holding a 14-3 lead, but were unable to shut down the Rams' explosive offense forever. The Rams would score 14 points in the 4th quarter and the game was suddenly tied 17-17 with just 1 minute and 21 seconds left on the clock. They allowed Brady a chance to get them down the field and win the game. In a drive that started at New England's own 17-yard line, Brady was able to get them to the Rams' 30 before spiking the ball with 7 seconds left on the clock. Adam Vinatieri once again came up clutch, drilling a 48-yard field goal and securing the Super Bowl for New England and Tom Brady. The 199th pick was named Super Bowl MVP, and he made history for New England, completing one of the greatest underdog stories in sports. The following season, Brady led the NFL in touchdown passes, throwing 28, but the Patriots would finish with a 9-7 record and miss the playoffs. This could have been the end of the story, and Tom Brady would have been forever loved by most NFL fans for his Super Bowl victory in 2001. But for Brady, this was just the beginning. In the next season, he led the Patriots to an NFL best 14-2 record and the number 1 seed in the 2003 playoffs. In the divisional round, the Patriots defeated the Tennessee Titans 17-14 2019 and advanced to the AFC Championship. This was the first meeting in the playoffs between Brady's Patriots and Manning's Colts. Earlier in the season, the Patriots had defeated the Colts 38-34 for one of Indy's 4 losses on the season. Manning was looking for redemption, but there was none for him to find. While Brady threw for 237 yards with a touchdown and an interception, Manning threw for 4 interceptions and finished the game with a 35.5 passer rating. The Patriots headed to their second Super Bowl in 3 years with the 24-14 victory. Super Bowl 38 was a matchup between New England and the Carolina Panthers, who were making their first Super Bowl appearance in franchise history. New England was favored by 7 points in the game, but it once again came down to the
Kasih gue ide tantangan tersulit di tahun 2025.
Menangin game Last Word dalam 60 detik, Bang.
Ayo kita coba. Ternyata game ini seru banget, soalnya dari iklan sama gameplaynya tuh benar-benar sama persis. Lihat nih, gue lagi pengen coba ambil senjata biar makin kuat. Wih, mantap, senjatanya gede banget, jadi gampang banget lawan musuhnya. Ih, bosnya juga cepet banget kalah ya. Bentar, timnya kita upgrade dulu. Weh, timnya dapat 3 nih. Sekarang timnya 3. Gampang banget.
Final seconds. With the game tied at 29, Brady would have the ball at the 40-yard line with just over a minute left on the clock. In 4 plays, the Patriots entered field goal range and set up another game-winning opportunity for Vinatieri. Once again, he did not disappoint and secured the victory for New England. The quarterback that no one wanted was now a 2-time Super Bowl champion and MVP. Brady had once again delivered a signature game-winning drive that seemed to be slowly becoming his norm, and it was definitely being noticed by fans around the league. In the next season, the Patriots once again finished with a 14-2 record and were the 2 seed in the AFC. Brady and Manning once again matched up in the playoffs, and similar to their first meeting, the Patriots easily dispatched them. Despite being the lower seed, they were the favorites for the 2004 AFC Championship game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. In Week 8 of the regular season, the Steelers had actually defeated the Patriots 34-20 in one of Brady's worst performances on the season. But New England would control this game from start to finish, forcing 4 turnovers on defense and committing none themselves. Brady threw for 207 yards with 2 touchdowns, helping the Patriots to a 41-27 victory and sending them to back-to-back Super Bowls. In Super Bowl 39, the NFC #1 seed Philadelphia Eagles were 7-point underdogs to the Patriots. But yet again, this was a tightly contested game in which the Eagles and Patriots traded off scores for most of the game. The Eagles were able to score late in the 4th, but were unable to recover an onside kick. However, it was not Brady who came up clutch for them this time, rather their defense. Safety Rodney Harrison came up with an interception with just 9 seconds left on the clock, allowing Brady to take a knee and end the game. Brady had not only helped the Patriots achieve their first ever Super Bowl win 4 years prior, but he had officially completed a dynasty. Along the way, he had won 2 Super Bowl MVPs and finished a perfect 9-0 to start his playoff career, a record that will most likely never be broken. But along with solidifying himself in greatness came the backlash. While the story of the 199th pick that had led a suffering franchise to their first Super Bowl was incredible, things were changing. It was now clear that Tom Brady was not just someone who got lucky and won a Super Bowl. Wait, not yet. He was far more than that, and with success always comes people rooting for your downfall. Similar to the recent dynasties in sports, such as the current Kansas City Chiefs and the Golden State Warriors from 2014 to 2019, people become fatigued of seeing repetitive success, which begins to build resentment and hate towards the faces of these franchises. For Brady in 2004, it was no different, not to mention what was to come in the following years for the team. Over the next 2 seasons, Brady led the Patriots to respectable 10-6 and 12-4 records. Yet in the 2005 playoffs, the Patriots would not escape the divisional round and prevent them from a three-peat. In 2006, Brady and New England returned to the AFC Championship game to face the Colts once again. While the Patriots entered halftime with a 21-6 lead over Indy, they came storming back in the second half. The Colts scored 32 points while holding New England to just 11, and for the first time on one of the biggest stages, Brady was unable to complete a game-winning drive. Manning and the Colts would go on to defeat the Chicago Bears in Super Bowl 41. Prior to the 2007 season, New England made 2 crucial offseason trades. They brought in Wes Welker from the Miami Dolphins and Randy Moss from the Oakland Raiders. Many felt he was far removed from his prime. During the 2007 NFL Draft, he was traded to the Patriots for just a 4th-round pick. With these new weapons, Brady and the Patriots entered the 2007 season playing division rivals the New York Jets. It was an absolute beatdown. Brady threw for 297 yards and 3 touchdowns. Moss and Welker would each have a touchdown in the 38-14 win. But something else had happened during this game that brought far more hate to Tom Brady than his success.
The league's first proven case of sideline spying has also revealed that these champions may be cheats.
Patriots coach Bill Belichick had an assistant videotape signals or play calls being sent onto the field by the New York Jets last Sunday. Whatever the reason, Belichick's actions are raising new questions.
The Patriots have won 3 Super Bowls in the last 6 years, a dynasty. Now many are wondering if it's a dynasty built on deceit.
In 2007, a scandal referred to as Spygate began to surface. It was believed the Patriots were illegally filming opponents' signals to gain advantages. Many members of the Patriots organization had begun to come forward. They revealed that the practice had been done since the 2000 season. The NFL launched a full investigation of the incident, and the outcome resulted in a $500,000 fine for head coach Belichick and a loss of their 2008 first-round draft pick. While several allegations were made that the Patriots taped the St. Louis Rams walkthrough prior to Super Bowl 36, there was no evidence that supported this. But if you ask players of the Rams, they'll all tell you that the Patriots definitely did it. And this would not prevent outrage amongst NFL fans, and many still to this day believe the first Patriots dynasty was built on cheating. Well, they believe both dynasties were built on cheating, but we'll get to that eventually. What probably angered fans even more was how Tom Brady and the New England Patriots responded throughout the season. They put together one of the most historic runs, dominating opponents on both sides of the ball en route to a perfect 16-0 regular season, the first and only in NFL history. Brady won the NFL MVP with a record-setting 50-touchdown season, breaking Peyton Manning's 2004 record of 49. Moss would catch an NFL record 23 passes from Brady and racked up 1,493 yards. New England finished their season with the #1 offense and #4 defense in the league. In the playoffs, they made quick work of the Jacksonville Jaguars and San Diego Chargers en route to Super Bowl 42, where they were 12-point favorites. Their opponents were the New York Giants, led by Eli Manning, Peyton's brother. Experts would predict this to be a blowout from start to finish.